A fire chief apologized after his group attended a Halloween party in KKK costumes. A city in America will trick-or-treat on Halloween for the first time since 1938. And a Hindu priest claimed he could fly and then fell off a cliff. These are the weird stories on Weird AF News, the only daily weird news podcast in the world. And it's in your ear. A fire chief had to apologize after his group went to a Halloween party in KKK costumes. Well, it's no fault of theirs. They didn't have time to get costumes, so they just had to wear what they had at home. You know how that can be, right? I'm looking at a photo of these idiots in the KKK costumes. I mean, this is real. Every year, stupidity like this around Halloween. Someone has to apologize for a racist costume. There's blackface. You see someone dressed as Hitler, Nazi costumes. It's just such foolishness. This is the one time of year where you can be something really fun, like a creature, like you could be Dracula or a superhero, and then you got to do stupid stuff like this. I mean, it's just unbelievable. You could be something sexy on Halloween. There's some people that are they go sexy. It's the one time of the year they leave the house in their underwear, basically, and they're like, this is a costume. You're like, what are you supposed to be? I'm Sergeant Pat Me Down. Sergeant Pat Me Down. Come on, that's good, guys. Now, this is going to shock you all. This story's out of Nova Scotia. That's right. Up over the border of the U.S. I thought it would be the U.S., but no. We have a fire department in Cape Breton, Nova Scotia, apologized after attending a Halloween party at the local firefighters club dressed as Ku Klux Klan members. Well, that's how you know it's not the States. They apologized. In the United States, they were not. In some places, they don't apologize. In some places, they just live that life, man. No place I want to be. We have here a fire chief named Wade Guthrow. He made a Facebook post apologizing. He says, we're very sorry from the bottom of our hearts. I don't know what a Nova Scotia accent sounds like, so, because you know me, I mean, I'll jump in and attempt an accent. I'll shoot my shot on Weird AF News, usually to the dismay of everybody listening. Okay, this guy says, when you folks comment that they shouldn't have got into the party and that we need to do better, you are right. Well, how did they get in? I mean, was there a bouncer of some sort? I mean, you need a costume bouncer at the door to every Halloween party because you don't want to admit costumes like this. You know, one person's going to be an idiot. They're going to, show up with a Hitler stash on their face, and you're just going to be like, sorry, man, we can't deal with the fallout of you being in here and the social media and the photos and videos of you being in here. That's going to take us down. We won't be able to have the party next year. Maybe some of us might even be arrested this evening because of what you look like tonight, because of your poor decisions, because you got a stupid brain and you couldn't have just dressed up like a sexy firefighter. We could call you a thunder hose or something. I don't know. The quote continues, our volunteers are some of the most caring and helpful individuals you will ever meet. Oh, really? I don't believe you that they're the most caring. I don't think caring people would do that. Now, maybe that's just me. I just don't think caring people would dress up as KKK members and go out into the world. And I don't know how helpful these people are. I mean, maybe that's helpful to some people. Maybe some people are out there like, hey, if they're brave enough to show their bigotry in public, I'll get out there too. I have time. Halloween isn't for a few days. Let me go out there and get my Nazi boots online. Yeah, I mean, maybe you're encouraging people to act out to show their true colors in public. I guess that would be one way you're being helpful. Okay, the guy says, I will assure you that we are all hurting in our hearts today and that we have disappointed a community that we work so hard to make better and protect. Of course, photos and videos shared on social media show these four individuals wearing long white robes and pointed white hoods inside what appears to be the firefighters club. One person is carrying a large cross as well. Oh, they brought the large cross. You know what that's the symbol of? They burn those on the lawns before they murdered entire families. Did one of them carry around a rope as well? I mean, to just top off the costume? I mean, I just want to know what level of commitment to hate what we're dealing with here. I could be wrong about the hate. Maybe they're not. Maybe they're not hateful individuals. They just could be severely stupid. They just could be the most dumbest people in the area. And do you want those people having to put out fires and save lives? I mean, either way, I think we got to do away with this Klan. Did I say Klan? Yeah, I think I can say that in this instance. For the first time since 1938, a city in Iowa will have kids trick-or-treating on Halloween. This story is out of Des Moines. For the first time since 38, the children will go trick-or-treating on actual Halloween. Now, going door-to-door for candy on All Hallows Eve has long been a commonplace throughout the U.S., but not in Des Moines, Iowa, where the city took a different approach more than 7 decades ago in hopes of reducing incidences of hooliganism. Hooliganism, that's a word you don't hear very often. I'm tired of your hooliganism and your chicanery. And we won't tolerate any baloney or hullabaloo. Out of here with that malarkey, I tell ya. These are all great words that we should bring back, guys. We should bring back. Just like Des Moines brought back trick-or-treating on Halloween. All right, let's find out what's going on. Okay, so they had issues with hooliganism on Halloween. So instead, Des Moines children wore their costumes on what's called Beggar's Night. This is typically the day before Halloween. That's what they do. And besides screaming trick or treat, the children in Des Moines, when they're doing their Beggar's Night, are expected to tell a joke before receiving a treat. How cool is that? Walking around telling jokes? Oh man, this particular form of the holiday was meant for me. I would totally be into Beggar's Night. Not just going around as a kid telling jokes. That'd be pretty cool. But accepting the trick-or-treaters into your home. I should say the beggars. Accepting they call them beggars? It's kind of cruel. Come in here, beggar. Tell me your joke. Yeah, that joke wasn't good enough. Get out of here, you beggar. No, it'd be cool to be on your porch all night long just with a rotation of kids walking up in costumes trying to tell a joke. That's just so hilarious when kids tell jokes. Even when they screw it up, it's funny. It's just like, that would be a very entertaining evening, I would say, for sure. Okay, let's find out why they're not doing that, and they're doing it on Halloween. This year, Beggar's Night was going to be last night, Wednesday, but because of heavy rain and thunderstorms, officials delayed trick-or-treating in Des Moines until tonight, Halloween, which to the rest of the country is the normal Halloween. So they'll be trick-or-treating the same night as everybody else. Are they still going to do the jokes? I'd like to know. Make these kids earn their candy with the jokes, I say. We should just make kids earn their candy. We give everything away for free. These kids, they don't appreciate stuff. Like, look at the piñata. What a great invention. Make them earn it with the piñata. Yeah, put on a blindfold and you try and earn your candy. I truly, truly feel terrible for the kids in Mexico, regarding their candy. Have you had Mexican candy? Does your candy also have to taste like a burrito, Mexico? What? Poor kids. It's the only candy in the world that gives you acid reflux. All right, back to the story in Iowa, an exciting place. We have Jen, who's the city manager. I'm sure she's very exciting, this individual. Regarding the change of date on Beggar's Night, she says, to my knowledge, it's never been moved or canceled since it was established after Halloween in 1938. However, the safety of our residents, families, and children is always our top priority and led to the change in this year's scheduled Beggar's Night. Well, doesn't she sound lovely? She's probably going to give out some good candy tonight. Now, Des Moines began its unusual custom of doing this Beggar's Night thing instead of trick-or-treating on Halloween at the suggestion of a former city parks director as a way to reduce vandalism and promote more wholesome fun for children. Initially, children were encouraged to sing a song, recite poetry, and offer some other kind of entertainment for the candy, but over time, a joke became the most common offering. It says here, Beggar's Night also has limited hours. It typically runs from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Well, you got to squeeze a lot of jokes in from 6 to 8. That still would be amazing entertainment if you were on the receiving end of all the jokes. Many of Des Moines' suburbs also have adopted the Beggar's Night tradition and chose to shift the celebration to Halloween this year as well. So they're all doing it because I guess the weather's pretty crappy over there. I'm still a little confused with why they changed it initially. For safety reasons. I mean, what was going? I mean, either way, children out there, kids are going to be kids no matter what night it is. So if you got some hooligans, as you say, they're gonna act like hooligans regardless of the night, I'd imagine. Well, regardless, they had some tomfoolery. Shenanigans were afoot in their town in the 1930s, so they made the change. I like the Beggars Night, though. I think it's pretty cool. I'd like to experience that at some point in my life. I don't know if I want to go to Des Moines to do it, but it might be fun. Any listeners in Des Moines that can house me for Halloween one year? Maybe I'll dress up and go around and tell my jokes door to door. Actual jokes from my stand-up comedy set. How funny would that be? I just launch into like a 7-minute long joke about the dollar store. The family's just sitting there waiting for it to end, and it just keeps going and going and going. That'd be pretty funny. A Hindu priest claimed that he could fly and then fell from the top of a mountain to his death. According to sources, we have a Hindu priest, and he led his followers to the top of a mountain in order to prove to them that he had the power of God in him, that he could perform a miracle right before their eyes, the miracle of flying. He's like, I'm going to up Jesus. Jesus walked on water. You know what? I'm going to fly. Take that, Jesus. And not only that, he turned water into wine. I'm going to turn water into Mountain Dew. Come on now. This guy obviously thinks he's some kind of super priest. A video of this incident circulated on social media. Have any of you seen it? It shows this group of believers and the priest performing Hindu rituals. The guy is, in the beginning of the video, he's seated on the edge of the mountain, and he's doing some stuff with smoke. He puts some what look like weights over his shoulders. He's ringing a bell. He's surrounded by his followers who, well, I'd imagine there's a few of them that believe he's going to actually fly, because you know how cult followers can easily be duped. But I'm sure there's a few others that are like, this is going to be hilarious. I need to get this on the gram right now. This guy going to splat. Now, I watched the video several times because I sort of couldn't believe what I was watching. Yeah, he rings the bells. He's got the smoke. He puts these weights on his shoulders, steps to the edge of the mountain. Then he takes a step down on a lower level and then just sort of tumbles over the side. He just kind of steps off and doesn't even put his arms out to. He doesn't try and flap his arms or reach to the sky. He doesn't jump. He just steps off the mountain and just tumbles down, just like any person that would. You just step off a cliff and then you just tumble. You just tumbled. I mean, this guy didn't even test his flying skills before. I got so many questions here. First, if you think you can fly, test it off the couch first, right? Or maybe like the back of a truck. And if you can't fly off the sofa, I mean, how do you think off a mountain is going to work? I mean, this guy went right for the mountain. I mean, this guy really was shooting his shot. Or if you can fly, even if you can fly, take off on flat ground. You don't need to get up in the mountain. It almost looks as though he's trying to kill himself. And to be fair, though, until he splattered on the ground below, he genuinely was flying, I'd imagine. Not flying, but falling with style. And you can hear the bell, ting, ting, ting. He's holding onto the bell. Oh, man. The article says the shirtless Hindu priest was rapidly shaking a bell before adding extra weight around his shoulders. Yeah, that's what I thought was going on in the video. Why would you add extra weight if you're trying to fly? I mean, very weird, the whole thing. Many comments on this video mocked the Hindu priest, saying that he thinks that he is, quote, Abbas ibn Firnas, who apparently was the first man to fly successfully using wings made of feathers. This is probably a myth. So I don't think a man flew with wings made of feathers. Maybe. Here's a funny thing you can do. Rewatch the video and play R. Kelly's I Believe I Can Fly in the background while you're watching it. Very good. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the splat. Happy Halloween, my friends and loyal listeners. Thanks for spending some time with me in the Weird AF News podcast. I hope you have a great Halloween. If you want to send me photos of you and or your pets dressed up for Halloween, my email's funnyjones@gmail.com. Please send those to me. I got an email from a fan named Lane who wrote me a really nice, touching email. I just want to read a bit of it. Good morning, Jonesy, and happy Halloween. I listen to your show pretty much every day, other than sometimes when things get too weird around here, and often want to write you a letter. But yeah, things are pretty weird in my everyday life. I'm completely blind and struggle with other disabilities, but you add so much color to my life. I really want to say thanks. One of these days I'll figure out how to buy you a coffee or a Guinness, but until then, just wanted to throw my 2 cents and write to you. Good luck with your life, man, and keep on keeping it weird AF. And that's so Lane, super sweet email. It turns out I have strangely I have many blind listeners, which I never expected that but I guess it makes sense with the podcast. It's an audio only podcast. But I have a lot of blind listeners, and that's really cool. I love it. I'm glad to be able to, bring some humor to your life, or give you some relief, or make you happy, or whatever I'm doing. And as Lane says, adding color to his life, I'm happy to do so. And that really means a lot to me to know that. So yeah, it's good. It's good. I guess in one way I'm giving back. This is my way of giving back to people, trying to provide something useful and helpful in life. You learn something, you get a laugh, you forget about your worries for a little while, maybe. I never thought I would have as many listeners as I do, or people that really like this. It still baffles me to this day that people really enjoy this. But that's pretty cool. Anyways, if you guys want to email me, funnyjones@gmail.com. You can also send me DMs to my Instagram @funnyjones. I'm still in Las Vegas. We'll be here for Halloween. I got a show tonight, Halloween. And I can't wait to see what the city's like, all dressed up. So I'm going to probably go to Fremont Street and just see all the freaks. I think that might be fun. Anyways, I hope you guys have an amazing Halloween, and it's a safe one. And if you are in Des Moines, Iowa, please write me. And if you could get some video of what this Beggar's Night looks like, I would love to see it. I mean, I probably could Google it, but it's got to be wild. I would love that. Anyways, if you want to support the show, just weirdafnews.com. You can buy me a coffee. Click on Buy a Coffee, or join the Patreon. Those are things you can do. Tomorrow's Florida Friday. I'm going to only do weird news from Florida. If you've never heard it, if you've never listened to Weird AF News before, that's what I do. So if you come across weird Florida stories from this week, please send them my way. Appreciate you. All right. Happy Halloween.